I'm David Harrington, 24 years investigating disappearances. I've seen people vanish in cities, in homes, in cars. But when 5 experienced hikers disappeared on one of America's most documented trails, I knew something was different. Because here's the thing about the Appalachian Trail. It's mapped. Every mile, every campsite, every water source. 2 million people hike it every year. Search and rescue teams know every ridge, every valley. So when 5 friends, all experienced outdoorsmen, went missing on a 10-day section hike, it should have been straightforward. Find the last known position, work outward, locate them. But on day 7, all 5 GPS signals stopped, simultaneously, at 3:47 p.m., October 14th. 3 weeks later, search teams found one of them, Sarah Mitchell, 29 years old, dehydrated, hypothermic, 23 miles off trail in a direction that made no sense. And when they asked her what happened to the other 4, she said 5 words that changed everything. They were watching us. Always. Who was watching? Sarah wouldn't say, couldn't say. Every time investigators pressed her, she shut down. Panic attacks, screaming, total psychological collapse. The FBI got involved, searched 200 square miles, found nothing, no bodies, no equipment, no trace of 4 human beings. The official conclusion, lost in the wilderness, case closed. But Sarah knew something so terrifying that even 3 years later she won't speak about it. Something that made 4 people vanish without a trace. When Marcus Chen, my criminal psychologist, finally got Sarah to trust him, what she revealed wasn't about getting lost. It was about being hunted, systematically, methodically, and whoever or whatever took those 4 people is still out there, still watching, still waiting, because we found something the FBI missed, something in Sarah's fragmented memories that points to a truth darker than anyone imagined. 5 friends entered the Appalachian wilderness. Only one came back, and she came back wrong. October 2020, Virginia, United States. The Appalachian Trail, one of the world's most famous hiking routes. This 2,200-mile trail stretches from Georgia to Maine. Approximately 2 million people hike this path every year. Experienced mountaineers, nature enthusiasts, adventure seekers. October 5, 2020, Monday morning, Shenandoah National Park, Virginia section. 5 friends gathered to begin a 10-day section hike. Sarah Elizabeth Mitchell, 29 years old, nature photographer. Slender build, 5'5", brown hair, green eyes, professional outdoor photographer for 8 years, over 20 trail experiences. Michael James Porter, 32 years old, software engineer. Athletic build, 5'11", black hair, brown eyes, rock climbing hobby, completes at least 3 major trails every year. Rebecca Becky Ann Torres, 28 years old, emergency room nurse, medium build, 5'7", red hair, blue eyes, wilderness first aid certified, the team's medical expert. Daniel Cross, 35 years old, high school biology teacher, strong build, 6'1", blonde hair, gray eyes, expert in botany and wildlife, will serve as guide along the trail. Alexandra Kim, 30 years old, graphic designer. The 5 friends have known each other since college. Every year they get together for an adventure. This year they chose the Virginia section of the Appalachian Trail, a 100-mile route, 10 days, challenging but reasonable for experienced hikers. 8:30 a.m., starting point. Everyone checked their equipment. GPS devices, each person had one. Walkie-talkies for communication, sufficient food and water, tents, sleeping bags, first aid kit, everything ready. Sarah posted one last Instagram story. 10 days in nature, disconnecting to reconnect. See you all on the other side. Photo, 5 friends smiling with backpacks in front of the trail starting marker. Nobody knew this would be the last photo taken of 4 of them. According to their hiking plan, they would camp at specific campsites each night, sending GPS coordinates to families via satellite phone once per day. Day 1, October 5, hiked 11 miles, evening camp near Lewis Mountain Campground. Sarah sent message to family. Day 1 complete, everyone doing great, weather perfect. Day 2, October 6, 14 miles. There was a tough climb, but the team performed well. Michael's check-in message. Legs sore but spirits high. Becky saved me with blister treatment. Day 3, October 7, 12 miles. Daniel sent message. Saw black bear from distance. Kept our distance, all safe. Trail beautiful. Day 4, October 8, 12 miles. Alex check-in. Halfway point tomorrow. Everyone tired but happy. Can't wait for hot shower in 6 days. Day 5, October 9, 10 miles. Sarah message. Rest day tomorrow. Found perfect spot by stream. Taking tons of photos. Day 6, October 10, rest day. Short hike, 5 miles. Becky message. Rest day best day. Daniel taught us about local plants. Sarah got amazing waterfall shots. Day 7, October 11, last check-in, 3:47 p.m. from Sarah's satellite phone. Day 7, all good. Bit tired, but on schedule. 3 more days to go. And then, silence. October 12, Monday. Families expected a check-in message that day. It didn't come. Evening arrived. Still nothing. They got a bit worried, but thought maybe signal problems. October 13, Tuesday. Still no message. Now the concern was serious. Sarah's mother, Emily Mitchell, called park rangers. My daughter and her friends are on the Appalachian Trail. Haven't heard from them in 2 days. Danger. Sometimes signal is weak on the trail, but we'll check. Park rangers team went to the last known GPS coordinates. They found traces of the camp, campfire remains, some footprints, but no equipment, no tent, backpack, sleeping bag, as if 5 people had vanished with their belongings. Rangers started a wider search. Helicopter, search dogs, volunteer teams. For 3 days, 20 square miles were searched. No trace. October 16, FBI got involved. Missing persons case, probably accident or foul play. They analyzed GPS data. After October 11, 3:47 p.m., all 5 GPS devices lost signal simultaneously, at the same time. This was technically impossible. 5 different devices don't lose signal at the same second, especially in open area. FBI agent Lisa Crawford led the team. Either they turned off the devices, there's a strong signal jammer, or something else. But when something was found 3 weeks later, everyone realized it was something else, because Sarah Mitchell shouldn't have been where she was found, and the way she looked, Sarah was no longer the old Sarah. November 1, 2020, Sunday morning. A hunter in George Mason National Forest, 23 miles from the Appalachian Trail, completely different area, saw a semi-conscious woman by a stream. The woman was dirty, in torn clothes, hair disheveled, face covered in scratches, dehydrated, showing signs of hypothermia. The hunter immediately called 911. Ambulance arrived. They took the woman to the hospital. Identity confirmed. Sarah Elizabeth Mitchell. Sarah's family was immediately notified. Her mother Emily rushed to the hospital. When she saw Sarah, she cried, "My daughter, thank God." But Sarah wasn't talking. Her eyes were open. She was looking around, but she didn't say a word. Doctors performed physical examination. Dehydration, mild hypothermia, many scratches and bruises from falls, mild sprain in left ankle, but no serious physical injury, no life-threatening danger. Psychiatrist Dr. Helen Barnes met with Sarah. "Sarah, can you hear me?" Sarah nodded. "Yes, can you speak?" Sarah tried to open her mouth. Her lips trembled, but no sound came out. Dr. Barnes, traumatic mutism. Post-shock inability to speak, psychological. FBI agent Crawford came to the hospital. She tried to talk gently with Sarah. "Sarah, where are the others? Michael, Becky, Daniel, Alex, where are they?" Sarah's eyes filled. Trembling started. She put her hands on both sides of her head, closed her eyes, shook her head. "No, no, no." Dr. Barnes intervened. "That's enough. She's not ready. If you push, it'll get worse." Crawford backed off, but her question remained unanswered. "Where are the other 4? FBI started a new search, centered on where Sarah was found, 23 miles away, completely off the Appalachian Trail. Why was Sarah here? How did she get here? Search teams, 100 people, dogs, helicopters, lasted 2 weeks. Every inch of George Mason National Forest combed. Result, nothing. No trace of 4 people. Michael's family pleaded on television. Please, find our son. Answer us. Becky's sister started a social media campaign. Find the 4, millions of shares. But no concrete leads came. End of November, FBI scaled down the operation. Active search continues, but resources are limited. We can't sustain continuity. Families didn't give up. Hired private search teams. Volunteer groups regularly entered the forest. But the end of 2020 came. Winter began. Searches became nearly impossible. Sarah was discharged from the hospital. She had recovered physically, but psychologically, she still wasn't speaking. Her mother, Emily, took Sarah home. Intensive therapy program began. Dr. Barnes had sessions with Sarah every day. Progress was slow. Sarah started writing. Single words: water, tired, scared. March 2021. 5 months later, Sarah spoke her first sentence. To her mother, in the kitchen. Quietly whispered, "Mum, I'm sorry." Emily cried, "My daughter, you're talking." But Sarah didn't speak more. As if she'd spent that energy, she closed up again. Early 2024. David Harrington was working with his Dark Case Files team on another case in Virginia. At a local cafe, he saw Sarah Mitchell's story in the newspaper. Appalachian Trail mystery, 4 still missing after 3 years. David read the article. It caught his interest. 5 people disappear, only 1 found, others missing. The found person isn't speaking. FBI couldn't close the file, but no active search. David turned to the team. Marcus Chen and Elena Cortez. Let's look at this case. Something's wrong. Elena started researching. She accessed FBI reports, some sections censored, but general information available. Where Sarah was found, timeline, GPS data. Marcus, Sarah not speaking doesn't mean 3 years of silence. According to therapy records, she occasionally says words but doesn't tell what happened. Traumatic protection mechanism. David, we need to talk to Sarah. Elena, her family is very protective, not talking to media. How do we convince them? David, I'll call Sarah's mother, gently, without judgment. Maybe I can explain we might be able to help. David called Emily Mitchell. Emily was initially hesitant. Sarah hasn't wanted to talk about this for 3 years. FBI, police, detectives, everyone came, all asked the same questions. Sarah got worse each time. David, I understand, Mrs. Mitchell. I won't pressure her. I just want to listen. Maybe Sarah can share what she wants to tell in a different way. Emily thought, then agreed. You can try, but if Sarah gets uncomfortable, you'll stop immediately. David and Marcus went to Emily's house. Small, comfortable house. Sarah was sitting in the living room, thinner, pale, eyes distant. When she saw David, she tensed slightly. David slowly approached, smiled. Hello, Sarah. I'm David. I just wanted to chat with you. You don't have to talk. I can listen. Sarah looked silently. No response. Marcus sat down, spoke in calm tone. Sarah, I'm Marcus. I'm a psychologist. I want to understand what happened to you. But without pressure. If you want to tell by writing, I'll listen. If you don't want to tell at all, that's okay too. Sarah looked for a while, then slowly nodded, asked for notepad and pen, started writing. First words. They were watching. David leaned forward. Who was watching Sarah? Sarah continued writing. I don't know, didn't see, but felt it. Every night, in the forest, they were watching us. Marcus, how many? Sarah, don't know. Maybe 1, maybe more. Never came close, just were there. David, when did you notice? Sarah stopped. Eyes closed. She was remembering. Wrote. Day 4. Daniel heard something. In the trees. We went to look. Nothing there. But then every night, sounds, footsteps, very far, but always there. Day 4. So the watchers had started when the friends were aware of being on the trail. And until day 7, for 3 nights, someone had been following them, silently, from a distance. Then day 7, what had happened? Sarah continued writing, slowly. Each word was painful. Day 7, afternoon. Our plan was to camp near Black Rock Summit that night, but Daniel wanted to change route. Safer place, he said. Michael objected, but Daniel insisted. David, why did Daniel change the route? Sarah, he said, this area feels strange, bad intuition. Daniel, very experienced with nature. We trusted him, changed route. Our new camp was in more isolated place, by stream, wooded area, set up tents, ate dinner, seemed normal, but Daniel looked tense, kept looking at forest. Around 10 p.m., Alex and I were in tent. Daniel's voice came from outside. Sarah, Alex, come out, now. His tone was serious. We came out, Michael, Becky and Daniel standing in middle, all looking at forest. What happened? I asked. Michael pointed. There, in the trees, something there. Sarah stopped writing. Her hands were shaking. Marcus gently, you don't have to continue, Sarah. But Sarah shook her head. She wanted to continue. Wrote, we held flashlights, looked toward trees. At first saw nothing. Then it moved. In the darkness, human shape, but strange, very tall, very thin, and the way it moved, not natural. Michael shouted, who's there? Answer. No answer. Shape moved, came closer, but still not close enough to see clearly. Daniel whispered, pack the tents, we're leaving now. Becky, at night, dangerous. Daniel, staying here more dangerous. Packed things in panic, but then, more movement, from different directions, like we were surrounded. Daniel, run, run now. Sarah put her head in her hands, started crying. Emily rushed to her side. Okay, honey, enough, rest. But Sarah wanted to finish writing. Through tears, wrote final words. We ran, in forest, in darkness, every direction, lost each other. I was with Alex, kept running. Then Alex fell, turned to help, but wasn't Alex anymore. Eyes, different, looked at me and said, run, Sarah, never look back. Then walked toward forest. And I ran. 3 weeks alone in forest. Was lost. Food ran out. Drank water from streams. Was afraid to sleep. Heard them every night, looking for me, but never found me. Eventually Hunter found me. Sarah dropped the pen. Finished. David and Marcus returned to the office with Sarah's account. Elena was already examining FBI reports and maps of the area. David, Sarah says they saw something on night 7, human shape but strange. Tall, thin, unnatural movement. Marcus, could it be hallucination? Can 5 people hallucinate simultaneously? Elena, carbon monoxide poisoning can create shared hallucinations, but in open area, unless they were right next to campfire, impossible. David, what about drugs? What if someone put something in their food, water? Marcus, Sarah's hospital blood tests were clean, no drugs. Elena, another explanation, someone really was following them, human, but deliberately appearing frightening. Stilts, costume, psychological warfare. David, why? Elena, don't know, but strange events happened on Appalachian Trail. In 2000s there was a serial killer, known as Appalachian Trail Killer. Was caught, but maybe there's an imitator. Marcus, or local group, cult, survivalists, people living isolated from society. Such groups exist in Appalachian Mountains. Maybe they see that area as territory. David, did FBI investigate this hypothesis? Elena, mentioned in reports but no concrete evidence. They interviewed local residents. Nobody knows anything. David, then we need to go to the field, find Sarah's camp, and follow the trail. April 2024. David, Marcus and Elena went to Virginia, met with local park rangers. Ranger Thomas Hayes had served in the 2020 search. Hayes, that case still bothers me. How do 4 people completely disappear? This trail is used by millions, but it's like they were erased from Earth. David, can you find the place Sarah described? Their last campsites. Hayes opened the map. Sarah's last GPS coordinates are here. But if Sarah's described route change is true, they should be 3-4 miles further east. Team prepared for 2-day hike. GPS, communication equipment, camping supplies, and importantly, weapons for security. Virginia has bear and wild hog danger. They entered the trail. First day passed without incident. Second day, Hayes took them to probable camp area. By stream. Dense woods. Elena, this is isolated. Why here? Hayes, this area deviates slightly from official trail. Experienced hikers sometimes use alternative routes to avoid crowds. David examined surroundings. Old campfire traces. But 3.5 years had passed. Nature had covered it. Hard to find anything definite. Marcus walked toward forest. Sarah said they saw in the trees. Could be from here. They entered the wooded section. Dense, dark. Sunlight barely entering. David turned on flashlight. Looked at ground. Found something old. Plastic. Worn. A water bottle cap. Elena examined. This brand, Nalgene. Sarah's equipment list had Nalgene water bottles. Went deeper and found a backpack. Torn, buried in dirt, but still recognizable. Inside ID, Michael James Porter. David's heartbeat quickened. Michael's bag, so they came here. Hayes, but where's Michael? They scanned more carefully. 50 meters ahead, at base of tree. Something else. Fabric piece. Torn, blood-stained. Marcus examined bloodstain. Old. 3-4 years, but definitely blood. Elena, we need DNA test. As they went further, they noticed something. Marks on trees. Cuts. Deliberate. Forming a pattern. Like a trail marker. Hayes, what's this? Hikers sometimes mark trees, but this, different. Marcus, territorial marking. Someone marked this area as their territory. David, so Sarah was right. Someone's here. And at that moment, a sound came from distance. Very far, from among trees. Not human voice, not animal voice either. Something in between. David and team froze. What was that? Hayes whispered. We should go back. Getting dark. But David, no. Where did sound come from? Let's follow. Marcus hesitant. David, Sarah lost 4 friends here. Maybe we should be careful. Elena, but this is our only chance. Whatever or whoever is here, still here. Slowly moved toward sound. 200 meters later, came to clearing. In middle, old cabin. Wood, rotted, but standing. Door half open. Hayes drew weapon. I'll go first. You stay back. Approached cabin. Faint light came from inside. Like candlelight. Hayes pushed door. Entered. Cabin interior was dark, but there was table in middle. On table, candles, old photos, and 4 personal items. David approached. Items. Michael's watch. Becky's necklace. Daniel's wallet. Alex's bracelet. Marcus, a shrine. Someone put them here. As memorial. As trophy. Elena saw something on wall. Photo. Polaroid. 5 people. Michael, Becky, Daniel, Alex, and Sarah. That photo they took at trail start. But this photo different. Something written on it in red marker. Only one can escape. David froze. Someone killed them and let Sarah escape. This was a game. Suddenly cabin door slammed. Closed. Team turned. A figure in darkness. Tall. Very thin. Mask on face. White. Handmade. Figure didn't speak, but held knife. Long hunting knife. Hayes aimed weapon. Stop. Hands up. Figure didn't move. Then ran. Opened door. Bolted outside. Toward forest. Hayes ran after. Follow him. Team went outside. Followed figure, but too fast. Disappeared among trees. After running 10 minutes, lost him. Hayes breathless. Gone. Who the hell was that? David, don't know. But now we know Sarah didn't lie. Someone's here. And killed 4 people. Team returned to cabin. Collected items as evidence. Took blood-stain samples for DNA test. More investigation in cabin. In drawer, found notebook. Handwriting. English but very poorly written. Like child wrote. David read. They came to my forest. Without permission. I watched them. They didn't know. I'm smart. Night 7. I showed myself. They scared. Good. They should be scared. Forest is mine. They ran. I caught. One by one. Man strong. Woman fast. But I stronger. I faster. Only yellow hair woman escaped. Didn't find her. Doesn't matter. 4 are mine. David broke into cold sweat. Serial killer. Living in forest. Territorial. Killed 4 people. Marcus. Where are bodies? In notebook was drawn map. Simple. 1 mile north from cabin. X mark. Hayes. We need to go there. Next day, reinforcement team arrived. FBI, local police, forensic team, went to X point on map, ground dug, 2 meters deep, in plastic tarp, 4 bodies found. Michael James Porter, Rebecca Ann Torres, Daniel Cross, Alexandra Kim, all murdered. Knife wounds, forensic analysis showed. Death dates October 2020, probably between October 12-13. Families notified. 3.5 years later, closure, but painful. FBI took DNA from cabin evidence, ran in system, match found. Lyle Eugene Harmon, 41 years old, Virginia resident, 2005 domestic violence record, reported missing person in 2010, no trace since. Lyle had been living in forest since 2010, cut off from society, completely feral. Major search launched, 500 people, helicopters, thermal cameras, lasted 1 week. Finally Lyle found in another cabin, 10 miles away, didn't surrender, fired weapon, police returned fire, Lyle died, in shootout, case closed. Official, Lyle Eugene Harmon, killed 4 people in 2020. Motive, territorial aggression, mental illness, isolation-induced psychosis. David visited Sarah again, gave news. Sarah, Lyle is dead. We found your friends, being returned to families. Sarah cried, for long time, then wrote, couldn't save them. Alex told me run. I ran, but they had to stay. David, you did the right thing by surviving, Sarah. Alex wanted you to live. They can't blame you. Sarah, but I see them every night, in dreams. I wish they'd forgive me. Marcus gently, Sarah, survivor's guilt is normal. Therapy continues. You'll heal with time. Sarah nodded, but deep pain still in her eyes. David in front of camera. The Appalachian Trail. 2 million people every year. Most return safely. But sometimes nature isn't just beautiful. It's dangerous. And the most dangerous thing in nature is the people living there. Lyle Eugene Harmon left society in 2010. Lived in forest. Over time his mental state deteriorated. Isolation, paranoia, aggression. He saw that forest as his territory and considered everyone who entered an enemy. Michael Porter, Rebecca Torres, Daniel Cross, Alexandra Kim. They just wanted to go nature hiking, but they crossed Lyle's path and lost their lives. Sarah Mitchell, the only survivor, lost in forest for 3 weeks, traumatized, couldn't speak for 3 years, now slowly healing, but wounds are deep. This case reminds us of something. Nature is beautiful, but we must be careful. Even experienced hikers are at risk. And if something goes wrong, remember, your family is waiting. In missing persons cases, every minute matters. Michael, Rebecca, Daniel, Alex have now returned home. Families got to say goodbye. Found closure. Late, but it came. As Dark Case Files, we'll continue telling these stories, because every missing person is a puzzle waiting to be solved for a family. See you in the next case. Sarah sitting in her house's garden, holding photo of 4 friends, smiling, for first time in 3.5 years, whispering, rest in peace, my friends, I'll never forget you. Screen fades to black. A family was found dead in their suburban home. 5 people. Police said domestic murder-suicide. But neighbors said something else. That night there were 6 people in the house. 5 died. The 6th disappeared. Who, where, and why?